All right, let's talk about one of the most sought-after credentials in the tech world right now, the Google Professional Cloud Developer Certification. In this explainer, we're going to lay out the roadmap, step by step, for what it takes to earn this thing, and prove you can build amazing, modern apps on Google Cloud.
Okay, so let's break down what this actually means. When Google says professional cloud developer, they're not just talking about someone who can write a bit of code. Look at the keywords here: scalable and highly available. That means building apps that can handle huge amounts of traffic without breaking a sweat and that just don't go down. It's all about using cloud-native tools and managed services. So you're not just lifting and shifting old apps into the cloud. No, you're building powerful new things for the cloud from the ground up.
So what does this challenge actually look like in the real world? Let's get practical and break the exam down by the numbers.
First things first, let's talk about the cost. It's $200 to register for the exam, not including any taxes. But, you should think of this as more than just a fee. This is your skin in the game. It's that moment you say, okay, I'm doing this, I'm committed to leveling up my skills and proving I can do this on a professional level.
And that $200 investment buys you a 2-hour exam with about 50 to 60 multiple choice and multiple select questions. Now, technically, there are no prerequisites, but, and this is the part you really got to pay attention to, Google recommends you have at least 3 years of industry experience, with at least one of those years spent working hands-on with Google Cloud. That tells you everything you need to know. This isn't about book smarts, it's about proving you have real, practical, in-the-trenches experience.
So with that in mind, how in the world do you prepare? Well, the good news, you don't have to figure it out on your own. Google actually gives you a super clear 5-step plan to get you ready for game day.
And look, the path Google lays out, it just makes sense. It all starts with that real-world experience. That's the one thing you absolutely can't fake. After that, you dig into the official exam guide, to understand the battlefield. Then you test yourself with sample questions to find your blind spots. Step 4 is all about filling in those gaps with training. And only then, when you're feeling confident, do you pull the trigger and schedule the exam. It's a really logical flow from just starting out to getting certified.
Theory is one thing, but nothing beats seeing what the questions actually look like. That's where the rubber meets the road, right? So let's walk through a couple of examples so you can get a feel for the kind of thinking you'll need to do. Okay, here's our first one. The scenario is, you're trying to get your team to adopt Google Kubernetes Engine, or GKE. They use common tools like VS Code and IntelliJ. You need a tool that plugs right into that workflow. So take a second, what's your gut feeling here?
If you said A, you got it. Cloud Code is the clear winner. Why? Because it's literally designed for this exact purpose, to integrate right into IDEs like VS Code and make GKE development easier. But it's just as important to know why the others are wrong. The shell editor? Too basic. Cloud Notebooks? That's for data science, a totally different world. And the CLI? Well, that's a command line, not an IDE tool. This is the kind of thinking, that process of elimination that's going to serve you well on the real test.
All right, let's try another one. This one is all about performance. Your cloud-run service is getting slow when traffic spikes. This is a classic cloud problem, a real headache for developers. So how do you fix it? How do you optimize for better performance when things get busy?
To solve this, you have to think about what's slowing things down. The right answer is B. Package your configuration right into the application image. Why? Because it makes the startup process wicked fast. When traffic spikes and a new instance of your service needs to spin up, it doesn't have to waste precious milliseconds fetching configs from a database. Everything it needs is already baked right in. Reducing that startup latency is a huge part of good cloud-native design. So you've studied, you've done the practice questions, but that big question still hangs in the air. How do you know when you're truly ready to take the exam? Let's look at the final readiness check. Think of these as the 4 big pillars of knowledge you need to have down cold. You've got to understand how cloud drives business, know the core infrastructure services, be a rock star at security, and be comfortable with Google's data and AI tools. Here's a great tip from the official study guide. Go through each of these areas and literally rate your confidence on a scale of 1 to 5. When you're consistently hitting 4 or 5 stars across the board, that's when you know. That's when you're ready to book that exam. So there you have it. We've walked the path from the nitty-gritty details of the exam to the study plan and the kind of mindset you need to have. Getting this certification, it's not just about getting another badge for your LinkedIn profile. It's a statement. It says you have the skills to build the powerful, scalable, modern applications that companies need. The roadmap is clear. So the only real question left is, are you ready to start building what's next?